You guys losing any hair?
If you're hearing our voices, that means it's time for It's This Meets That, the podcast where we watch the worst movies from trailer to end credits, scene by scene, so you don't have to, but maybe you should. I'm Russ.
I'm Jared.
So last week we kicked off a new movie teardown with a trailer trash of Netflix's The Titan. If you didn't check out that episode, you probably should. But otherwise, Jared, why don't you give us a quick recap on what The Titan is all about?
Yeah, sure. The Titan is the premise here is a military family takes part in a groundbreaking experiment of genetic evolution and space exploration, which, like we said in trailer trash, trying to do too much.
And now that we've seen the movie is probably just as generic as, I guess, that.
Oh, I'm so mad. Yeah, this was horrendous.
What were your expectations from the trailer to now seeing the movie? Met, exceeded?
I think no, definitely not exceeded. I expected it to be watchable, and it was not. It was worse than my wildest bad fantasies.
I think we both said we felt like super generic from the trailer, and I think that's what we got, and it delivered on that, and it had its moments of like potentially being good, but
sure, yeah, no, like the idea is, I mean, we were talking about this right before we started recording. Like the idea isn't terrible.
No,
like it's a watchable premise, but
like most of the movie, but like most movies we end up watching, it's always in the execution, right?
Yep. Hate it. Really, really hate it.
Yeah. So this is what happened. I'll throw this out there though. It's not a good movie, but this might raise something here. It's not a good movie, but it's not the worst that we've seen.
On what metric? Tell me how it's not like. I agree that it's probably not the worst we've seen, but it's down there. It's down there real low.
I'm putting it like middle, above, a little bit above middle, maybe.
Like at least with, something like The Kissing Booth, for example, recent movie that we did, which I think we agreed was one of, if not the worst movies we had done to date.
Yes.
I think I'd rather watch Kissing Booth again because at least something happened in that movie.
Yes, all right, then I put it below that.
Yeah, like they were like, all right, well, at least there's like sexy teens running around doing something interesting.
That's probably not what we should be talking about. But
they were old enough. Yeah, we talked about this in the last episode. They're all adults. They're all like 30 doing whatever.
I don't know. Can you say sexy teens in the same sentence?
You can if you want clicks, buddy.
Leveling up this podcast.
Yeah, taking the BuzzFeed approach here.
Hashtag sexy teens.
You won't believe what these sexy teens did to raise money for their dance club.
Open a Kissing Booth. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So I'd rather watch Kissing Booth again. I think I'd rather watch all 3 Kissing Booths before I sit through this one again.
We haven't gotten to part. We haven't finished the trilogy yet. So
yeah, I have no clue if they're probably way worse, but I don't care.
Yeah, no, I think I'm on that.
Right? Like,
I'm on that same train with you. Yeah.
There's no replay value here. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Give me a redeeming quality of this movie.
Like Tom Wilkinson, I guess. But that's about it.
No, he wasn't good in this either.
No, he was just like, everything was just so, it's boring. It's a boring sci-fi. I didn't think sci-fi could be so boring, but it is. So, but all right, we'll get into it. All right, so quick info.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna rattle through this. So it was directed by Leonard Ruff, who has done a couple
French.
Yes, maybe. He's done a couple shorts. This is his first and only feature. Outside that, he has done nothing else. So
really?
Yeah.
Huh. I'm surprised.
Yeah. So
maybe I shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Wait, what kind of shorts are we talking? Like sci-fi shorts or like
I don't know, actually.
Drama shorts? Okay.
I don't know. And I don't really want to look it up. So
I respect that. Listeners, let us know. If you're a big Leonard Ruff fan.
Yeah, hit us up.
Yeah.
Screenwriter. So there was Max Hurwitz.
Okay.
This was his first feature screenplay. Outside that, he did a bunch of TV and again, like short films, stuff like that. So,
Okay.
Arash Amel, I don't know if he wasn't a screener. He's credited as the story by. So came up with the story and Max did the actual screenplay.
Okay.
Arash only had 2 credits under his belt before this. Erased, which I don't know if you've heard of this one. It's a really shitty action movie with Aaron Eckhart.
I like Aaron Eckhart sometimes.
I do too. I think I even looked up to see if it would fit in I think it's actually above 30%.
Oh man.
Yeah. And then he did Grace of Monaco, which I never heard of, but it's a Grace Kelly story with Nicole Kidman.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Yeah. So not a lot of experience going into this crew, storytelling wise. So
the only Grace Kelly I like is the Barry sax player from around here. She's great. Shout out to Grace Kelly. If you want to play saxophone on the podcast, bring Leo P. Sax crew, let's go.
We're open to it, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Fuck you. If you want to be on the podcast, as is tradition.
So who's in this movie? So we've got Sam Worthington.
Sam, destined for a great future in acting, Worthington. Yes. Said one 2010 article.
Said 2010, and I was like, oh, I regret saying that.
Yeah. Oh no, then we saw Avatar. No.
Yeah. So Sam Worthington, who's in Avatar 1 through 5, Clash of Titans, and Terminator Salvation, all the big hits there, and Man on the Ledge.
Really every movie you could think of.
Pretty much it. I don't know why he keeps getting invited to movies. Taylor Schilling, who wasn't like a bunch of standout stuff. She was in Argo though, but I don't remember who she was in that. Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen Argo.
Orange is the New Black, I feel like is what
she's
actually famous for.
Yes. Good call. Yep. Right.
Star of that one. How many seasons is that run? Like 4, something like that? I think I stopped after 2.
I actually never started it.
Oh, it's all right. Yeah. It's okay. It has what's the one with the curly hair? I like her.
Oh boy, here we go. I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I couldn't tell you.
No, but she's in all kinds of stuff. She was in Russian Dolls, whatever that.
Natasha Lyonne.
Yep, thank you.
Got you. I got you covered.
Yeah, that's I think that's how she got famous too. It was Orange is the New Black, right?
No, she was in American Pie.
Come on.
Everyone got famous from American Pie. I mean, come on.
All right.
Chris Klein got famous from American Pie.
Who's Chris Klein?
Exactly. So who else in this movie? There's only 4 people who are really important. So we got Sam Worthington, Taylor Schilling, who plays Sam Worthington's wife, Tom Wilkinson, who plays basically the big bad scientist guy. You know him from Batman Begins, Michael Clayton, Rush Hour.
Original Alfred.
Original Alfred. No. Agyness Deyn, I think that's how you pronounce her name. She was
sure.
I looked her up and I was like, oh, she looks really familiar, but she hasn't been in anything that I know except Clash of the Titans, which I haven't seen. So
yeah, and she's like the other main doctor, right? Like Tom Wilkinson's assistant, kind of.
Yes, yeah. I kept referred to her as Lady Doc because I don't know if she had a name. And I also
Freya.
And I don't know if Sam Worthington's wife had a name. Did she have a name? Or did
definitely. What do you mean? Does she have a name?
Well, no, but I mean, did they
say Abigail like 1,000 times in the movie?
No way. There's no way.
Yes. Yeah. No. And Tom Wilkinson calls her Abby all the time, which was really cringe for me. I was like, why is he being so?
It's the short, playful name. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Abby, like you're whatever. And I was like, what are you doing?
Oh man, that's how boring this movie was. All the words just kind of meshed together to like one word. It was just
decidedly Abigail.
All right, so there we go. That solves that crime is solved. And then to round out this cast, we have Nathalie Emmanuel, who is in Game of Thrones, Furious 7, and the Maze Runner sequels. She plays Melisandre. She plays Melisandre in Game of Thrones. That's where she became really famous from. So,
yep. I've not seen Furious 7.
Me neither. I think I stopped after Tokyo Drift.
I stopped after 15 minutes into the first one. So you have a leg up on me.
Yeah, you're like, there's not enough family in this series.
Yeah, it seems like they don't care that much about family. So I'm
shutting this off.
Yeah, I hope that guy doesn't die in real life.
They care more about cars than family. Boring. So production and box office numbers. So the budget, I did some serious scouring of the internet. So this is a Netflix film, I guess. So tough to pull up some numbers, but I got this number 19 million for the budget, which I don't totally trust the source, but it doesn't seem unreasonable.
No, I mean, like the effects weren't awful most of the time.
No, right? I mean,
until the end, I feel like the effects were fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've seen better effects in like the Species movies back in like the 90s. You know?
Totally, yeah. but it wasn't the worst. And did you look up? And maybe it's a fast fact. I don't know. I haven't gotten that far in our notes yet. Do you know where this was it filmed on location?
Yes.
I feel like that's expensive too.
Yeah, I think that's actually what it was. So it was actually filmed in Spain, but we'll get to the fast facts. So.
Okay. I'll wait then.
Yeah. And then the box office numbers. So I guess it was released in the theaters internationally. So it did 2.6 million internationally. 2 million of that 2.6 was in China.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's about 675 fanatics.
600.
Roughly. Back in the napkin.
A little quick back in the napkin. Which, I mean, I don't know. It seems like it's generic enough of an idea that like it can be translated to other countries pretty easily. So that's probably why it did really well.
Yeah, sure. Well, some would argue that it's, applies to all of us. This is a movie about the human condition, Russ.
It's true. It is an international movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So then it was on Netflix. We don't get a lot of numbers there, but I got the same number from like this other source about the budget, but it said one domestic figure said that it made 62 million in US. I was like, there's no fucking way. That can't be real. So
that's 16,756 fanatics. That's too many.
That's too many.
There's no way.
There's no way.
There's no way.
So that's the quick info there. Hollywood pitch.
Yeah. Thanks, dude.
Yeah,
sure.
Hollywood pitch. Let's do it. What do you got?
Okay. All right. So I don't know. I feel like mine was a little bit lazy this time around for what I usually do.
Yeah. You get more creative than I do. So yeah.
Yeah. I didn't go wishful thinking this time. Instead, I went Hollow Man meets Europa Report. Now, Hollow Man.
I'm on board with that. So go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
That makes too much sense this time, I think.
Yeah, you're basically stealing one I would have done.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Hopefully you're the wishful thinking guy on this one. So Hollow Man, as we all know, sci-fi horror. There's a scientist who decides he wants to be the first human test subject for like an invisibility potion or whatever. And then inevitably when it doesn't work out because it's a sci-fi horror movie, and he's invisible forever now, he like goes crazy violent and murders everybody in the movie, and it's hilarious and sad.
Those two things can go together hand in hand sometimes.
Yes, just like this movie, right?
Yes.
Big experiment goes awry, kind of. I mean, intended for some. And there's a murderous rampage because of course there is.
And then they oddly save the murderous. Anyways, we'll get to that. Never mind.
Yeah. Right, of course. Yeah, nobody can do any wrong in any of these movies.
When you're trying to save the planet,
Yeah, well, when you're trying to save the planet.
Humanity, I should say. Humanity, not the planet.
Yeah, I got bones to pick with that plot point too, but
as do I.
Good. So meets Europa Report, which did you see Europa Report?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay. Unfortunate. Well, I mean, it's like not that bad, I guess.
Yeah.
It's like a medium.
Yeah.
So this one, not quite Saturn, but Europa, moon of Jupiter, right? And is like, in theory, famously more habitable than almost any other place in our solar system besides here. At least allegedly.
Yes.
And so in the movie, they're like going to try and discover life on Europa, which, all right, got a little bit of a science bone to pick here.
Hit me.
So in this movie, the movie we watched recently, they're
the Titan.
The Titan. They're going to Titan, which is also tons of oceans, but the oceans of Titan are like a lot of ammonia. And I feel like they talked about the oceans of Titan being nitrogen rich or whatever, which I guess ammonia, maybe nitrogen. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They're like making it a big swimming thing. And then like, they don't actually, there's no payoff for that. Like there's no swimming once, you know, I don't know. It's so frustrating. And like, I in the back of my mind, there has to be like, I'm thinking maybe they met Europa. Maybe they just fucked up and like met Europa the whole time.
Yeah. But the Europa doesn't sound as cool as the Titan. So,
right. Exactly.
You're like, oh man, there's already a movie called Europa. Oh, man.
We already have European people, which,
you know,
they're basically all Europas to me, you know, like how many Titans do we have?
Right.
And at the end of that one, everybody dies, which at the end of this one, I wished everybody died. So I guess I did do a wishful thinking.
That is a wishful. I was going to say.
Yeah, you're right.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, it's a good one. So I went with it's the Island of Dr. Moreau meets Free. I went for a throuple here. So it's the Island of Dr. Moreau meets. Hang with me here. Meets Free Willy. Meets Interstellar.
Okay, I think I got Free Willy and Interstellar. I want you to explain them to me anyway, but
yeah. So
give me Dr. Moreau here.
I'll give it pretty quick. So Island Dr. Moreau. I mean, you know the story, right?
Take your time.
Well, yeah,
we got nothing but time. Our listeners have nothing but time, as they've demonstrated by listening to this podcast.
This is true.
Thank you all.
You have to listen through this now. Well, Island Dr. Moreau, right? Doctor on an island doing terrible experiments to humans and animals and combining them, right? So,
okay, yeah, I guess you're right.
It's literally what this movie. They're on an island, and there's a crazy doctor who's doing human and animal experiments, basically.
I forgot about the animal bits.
Yeah, he merges bat DNA with some of that with humans and other. So,
yep.
It was. I mean, I think this is like someone saw or read Island Dr. Moreau was like, you know what, we could do like an updated version of that. Here it is. Meets Free Willy. Mostly because where you think this movie's gonna go, they end up saving the vicious killer shark, basically. I guess it's work at the end of the movie, right? And at the end of the
shark, get out of here.
Yeah, I know. I said it's not. And they end up saving basically the monster at the end of this movie, the Titan.
Sure. Yeah.
And letting him go free. So
the Titan.
After he murders plenty of people, they're like, yeah, you know what? Let's just send him to the Titan. To Titan. Let's send the Titan to Titan. A lot of bones to pick there.
Let's send Willie to the ocean. You know, I'm a big justice for Shamu.
Yeah.
I think Shamu's dead now, right?
I think so. And then rounding it out with, just to get to like the kind of space sense here, meets Interstellar. Obviously because human planet's resources are running out, we're all going to die, and they're trying to find some habitable place to live, and love transcends space and time, which I think it does in the Titan as well at the end. Yeah,
love is gravity, I believe.
Yep. So that's it. That's my pitch.
That's pretty good. I like it. I think we both did good today.
Yeah. I think we always do good.
You're right. Who am I kidding?
Yeah, come on, dude.
Just trying to stay humble here, but you're right. We're good at this.
We're very good at this. Only took us 76 episodes. All right, so that's fast facts.
Yeah, fast fact me. I didn't do any work here, so all you.
There's not a lot here. There wasn't much to find about this movie. Most of it has to do with the filming location, which you asked about before. So,
you mean you didn't find an interview with Sam Worthington where he talks about religion and really goes off the rails about?
Oh God, I didn't dig deep into it. I don't think I need to know Sam Worthington's thoughts about anything about the planet.
Yeah, you're right. I don't either.
It's a rabbit hole you don't want to go down. So you were correct, and this was filmed in the Canary Islands, part of Spain.
Beautiful.
Yes, I've never been. It was filmed on the Gran Canaria of Spain, Gran Canary Island.
I've never been either. I meant beautiful from the movie. I spent a lot of time in the Canary Islands as a youth.
Beautiful from the movie was like every outdoor shot was just at night. So
as a young boy in Barcelona, I would often take a vacation to Gran Canaria.
Set up some
Canaria,
and set up some false bank accounts. Anyways, so that's where it was filmed, which
not the Cayman Islands.
yeah. So this is more of an island fast fact, not a movie fast fact, but
sure,
because we don't have anything, so there's nothing for the movie really.
Yeah. Do you have an isthmus one after it?
No, I don't. Okay. So it's referred to as a miniature continent because of the diverse nature of its landscapes and habitats. And in fact, a third of the island is a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve.
The more you know.
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah. I wonder if it's more diverse naturally than Galapagos, famously.
Well, it's a great question.
Islands. Yeah.
This feels like a good time for you to say, "Hey,
well, Russ.
hey, listeners."
Yeah. Well, Russ, you know what I would say. Yeah, listeners, write us in. Tell us about the Galapagos Islands. Tell us how wrong we are.
Yeah, please. It's fine. Go for it.
Tell us about isthmuses too, because I want to know more about. They're like little tiny peninsulas, right?
Yeah,
it's like an isthmus. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
If I remember my geography. Anyway.
Yeah. No, that's right. Okay. And then because it was filmed in Spain, the Spanish Army was actually involved, which makes sense now because you saw the troops. So the Spanish Army was involved with 100 troops and 20 vehicles, and it's apparently the first time that the Spanish Army has been involved in an international film.
Oh, good for them.
That's great. It's a lot of extras. It's like,
yeah, good on them.
Yeah.
Remember in Trailer Trash when you were like, I don't know any countries that have flags like this, and we're like, it's Spain. It's Spain.
How did like a simple Google search not bring that up?
I don't know.
Sorry, I'm not a flag expert, so I can't pull these all off the top of my head.
If you're a flag expert, tell us about your favorite Spanish flag.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a variety.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You a Franco guy? Probably not. I hope not.
And then the last fast fact here is, and this is the stupidest one, this is the third film that Sam Worthington has filmed there. So there's that.
You know what? That's my favorite one.
Yeah, because
was Avatar filmed there?
No, Clash of the Titans, this one, and not Avatar.
Oh, not Avatar. Got it. Okay. That's the second sequel, right? Not Avatar.
Yes, not Avatar. All right. So that's it. That's it. Fast facts. That's all of it.
Right on. I love a good fast fact. Thank you for providing those for all of our listening pleasure.
Sure.
Oral pleasure, we could say. Oral AU.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we think we're going to get into breaking this thing down.
Yeah. Did you?
What?
It's the first thing we're going to talk about. Mm-hmm. So many studios.
Yeah.
So many production companies. Did you look up any of these?
No, I should have.
That's okay.
I didn't think of it.
I didn't either until just now. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot there were like 20 production companies involved here. and there just kept being more. I stopped writing them down at some point. Because did you notice after they did the initial run of production companies, they then, while they're doing the opening credits, there were like another like 3 or 4 that we hadn't seen at the beginning.
Yeah, I saw more. They were written, so they had some that had like the.
Yeah.
It must be how much money you give, right? You either get the image plus the text, or maybe you just get the text. I bet.
Yeah, probably.
So we open up credits, right, as usual. Netflix film. We get Voltage Pictures, which.
Yep.
The only movie I know that they've done was Ava with Jessica Chastain, which was not good, so don't watch that.
Yep.
And then I was confused by the next one. I thought it was just automatic, but I guess it's 42 automatic TAC is the entire.
Yeah. Well, before that, there's also Motion Picture Capital, which I don't even know if, like, is that a thing? Or is that just saying, here's where the money came from? Or they literally just named their company Motion Picture Money, basically. Right? Oh, okay.
No, I think that's a real thing. I think it's just yeah. I think that's it.
Okay. And then I think 42 automatic TAC. It sounds German.
Yeah. It does.
Well, they spell, for the listeners who can't see our notes, they spell automatic with a K.
Yeah, it's definitely German. Totally German.
Right. Yeah.
So then, credits rolling for a long time, and then there's a panning shot across cruising over water kind of shot, right? And it's building up. All the credits are going.
Ominous music
queuing up. It's at night. Most of this movie is at night, I think, too. By the way, right? Feels like it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd say it's like half and half.
Yeah. Most of the exterior shots of like the island and where they are is at night.
Yes. Unfortunately, because it's nice when they do it during the day.
Right. So camera's cruising over water, and then we get more credits, and then we get the, pans up and we see or tilts up and we see the island.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get the title card, The Titan.
Yeah, The Titan.
And then we get a shot of like a nighttime shoreline and a convoy of vehicles, a bunch of Humvees, music's picking up. And then it cuts to the interior of one of the vehicles, right?
Yeah.
And we pretty much get everything that was from the trailer.
Yep. Yeah, they did exactly from the trailer. A sleepy boy in the back. LA, then they explain that LA has become uninhabitable according to the news.
Yep.
Which is being watched on Sam Worthington's tablet in the Humvee with his wife, sleeping on his shoulder.
News coming from a British guy still, which I guess it's world news, maybe world news.
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess now knowing that they were in Spain, I guess I could see the English language news being with a British accent, because that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. And then we get like a quick overlay, kind of letting us know where we are. We're at the NATO operating base, Atlantic Ocean, year is 2048.
There's apparently 20,000 acres of training fields. It's all very classified.
Very classified.
Says the British people.
Yeah. And then we get the shot of like the lady doc, Agyness Deyn, I think is how you pronounce her name.
Yep.
Convoy rolls up and basically we just pick her up. Now she's in the Humvee and she's giving us pretty much a bunch of exposition about the island and like telling us all about it.
Yep.
Again, and all stuff from the trailer.
Yep. And then that's when we roll up to the super fancy house, right?
Yeah. So we get into this super sweet, kind of very modern.
Very modern. Yeah.
A lot of edges, no railings on staircases.
Yep.
A lot of glass.
Yeah, very contemporary.
You can see the pool from like a hallway or the kitchen or something. I think like the pool, you go into the pool and you can see it from inside still.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, that's an infinity pool, so you're not blocking any of your views. This is an architecture podcast now.
Yes, it's absolutely a delight to look at.
Gorgeous.
I feel like there needs to be more arches in this house. Though. More arches.
More glass.
Yes. Yeah. I don't want to see any shadows anywhere.
I'm going to say that someday. One of my goals is like build a house from scratch from, not me doing the work, but like me calling the shots. Yeah. And I'd be like, I don't want to see my shadow. I'm going to have an accent by then.
As you should. Like,
yeah.
So we get in there and Lady Doctor is kind of showing them around the house, giving more exposition about the house, blah, blah. We get a tour and then they're getting kind of settled. And then we get kind of a family moment by the pool, right?
Yep. They're all looking out at the stars as a family. And the boy's like, which one are you going to? I can't see.
And then
Sam Worthington's like, of course, you idiot.
Yeah.
You can't see it, but you're going to be going there too someday.
What am I raising? Like, dummy.
The way, sorry, just to complain about Sam Worthington's acting again, like the way that he delivers that line is like a threat, like a thinly veiled threat. It's like, you'll be going there too someday. And you're like, oh.
He's like a sodium-free saltine cracker in this movie.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
He's like so boring just there. And he's like, if you eat too many of them, you're just like, give me more.
Yeah. Like, can't wait till we get to the second half of this movie when you can't speak anymore. Cannot come soon enough.
Yes, when all that acting happens with your eyes and alien facial expressions. So we get that. Still in the home, and
it's the next day now, right?
Yeah, next day. And it's kind of so we get mom unpacking. We get a close-up shot of like
she's like, oh, I'm unpacking my pediatrics degree just to make it clear that I'm a doctor. Okay, sick.
Put that on the shelf, and then right next to it, put the photo of the newspaper clipping of her husband being returned from being MIA.
Yes. Yeah, I was like, what's happening right now? Like, why are they giving us so much image exposition? Like, it's almost worse than like, well, yeah, they said show don't tell, so here we go.
Yeah, right. It's like, I'm not a big fan. You see that a lot in movies where like do like the pan down the stairs of all the photos on the wall, and you kind of get it. It's like This is like, it's still too much. Like you gotta,
so heavy-handed.
You gotta pull it back a notch. Pull it back a notch. It's also like, how important is that to the story? It's
not
right. Like him being an MIA pilot, or I guess maybe because he's survived being alone in a desert or something. Like he's like.
I mean, that's what they make it about later, but I think they did it. So do you remember? There's like one line, like 15 minutes from now, when they're like,
"Oh, he went through the desert by himself." Yeah.
He walked across the desert alone for days, and you're like, okay. that was the setup. Great, thank you.
It's basically the one kind of thing to make him tough as nails, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't see the date at first, so I assumed maybe it was 9/11 related or something. I don't know.
No, must be later, obviously, because it's 2048, right? So
I'm assuming we're always at war with the Eastern Hemisphere, so for the rest of our lives, probably.
Yeah, it's just how it is. So we get that, and then Tom Wilkinson shows up, the professor. Mm-hmm. I don't know his
Abigail
actual name.
Opens up the door like, "Oh, Professor." I do know his name. It's Collingwood.
Really?
Yep, Professor Collingwood.
That feels like
no, it's exactly what it is. Yes, doubting me.
Well, I mean, no, because that'd be such a crazy thing for you to make up.
Yeah, this is the only movie we've done in recent memory where I actually, I think, refer to everyone as their character names more than the actors.
All right, shit, we're gonna do all character names.
Yep, I think so.
Okay. So we should know that Sam Worthington, his character name is Rick Jansen.
Rick Jansen.
Rick fucking Jansen over here. And then his wife is Abigail Jansen. Mm-hmm. And then
boy is Lucas Jansen. I'm Lucas Jansen.
Jansen, you're suspended. Give me your badge and your gun. I'm
just a boy.
You're off the force, Jansen. No, the other Jansen. No, the other Jansen. Oh boy. And then Wilkinson is Professor Collingwood. Mm-hmm. Collingwood, what a terrible name. Okay. And then pretty much we get, so Wilkins shows up and him and Rick Jansen, they have a chat at the table. It's straight from the trailer. There's like a couple extra lines that are really not all that necessary if you watch the trailer, right?
Did you look up what a Dryden test was? I meant to.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Okay.
Did you?
Nope. So I meant to. I did not. Listeners, if you know what a Dryden test is, yeah, I think it's like some kind of military qualification test.
Probably aeronautical test range overview. Dryden aeronautical test range overview. It's a NASA test.
NASA, neat. Okay.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
I'm glad we looked it up.
Yep.
Listeners, never mind. On this one.
Yeah, it's like a test facility for space exploration, technology integration, concepts, and blah blah blah. So
okay, well, the professor was very impressed with Rick's Dryden test results.
This movie. Okay, go ahead.
No, sorry, I was gonna keep moving with the most baffling part of this movie, maybe. But you go ahead with your comment first.
Well, I was just gonna say, so this is like, I'm glad you said that, because I think I just zoned out because like every time they start, there's a lot of moments where dialogue starts and it's just kind of like, to me, it just felt like this.
I felt I'm sorry, teacher.
And it felt like there was like a lot of like science, but like it was a lot of science dialogue thrown at you, but it was just kind of, it felt like more like, hey, look at us, we did our research.
Yeah,
we're gonna drop some. We know what
Googled for 20 minutes this time.
yeah, exactly. That's what it feels like. It's like, great, now I have to. Okay, what? Okay,
I know where Titan is.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's how it felt. So
space.
Like, yeah, a lot of these conversations just felt like that. I was just like,
yeah. So right after he's talking about how impressed he is, apparently Rick is a professor or like a what? Like he's the least. Did you catch that? He's been teaching for the last couple of years. He said.
No.
Yeah, I was like, teaching what? Like I don't. You got dropped in Syria or whatever for
how to be boring. Like he's teaching like how to be boring at dinner parties. Like
yeah, it doesn't seem like I don't know. I think they were trying to like lead with the Dryden test results to make us think that he's a smart person, but the character seems real dumb, right?
Yeah. He's not. No.
Anyway.
he's the broken saltine when you pull him out of the pack.
Yeah, he's been shaping young minds apparently for the last 2 years, which anyway.
Yeah, I did not catch that. So, okay.
Yeah. And then the professor talks about how, pioneering a new thing has its risks. Like you can't pioneer a new thing without risks. And this is after they walk away from the table. This is now he's explaining this to Abigail.
Right.
Because she's like, well, I'm worried about him. And she's like, no, don't worry. Pioneering isn't without its risks, which is my half British, half Irish accent.
Did he have did he have an accent?
He's British. He's the Britishest.
Yes, he is. But Wilkinson, but he wasn't having an accent in this movie, did he?
Oh yeah, he did. Where were you? Did you watch the movie?
Yes.
No, they were like, because he's British and this movie is international. They were like, oh, just be British. Like it's fine. Did you think he had an American accent the whole time?
No, but I didn't think he had it wasn't that hardcore. Oh, maybe it just wasn't. It didn't come across that that harsh to me. So I was like, I don't know. He just, I don't know. It wasn't like, oh, Charlie. Oh, yes, babe, we're gonna go to Titan. All right, yeah, hey, babe. Hip, hop. All right, now get the testing.
Do you know Chimney Sweep?
Okay, we're doing accents. Good.
So that's when she gives her line about how, well, Rick crossed the Syrian desert alone without water for 3 days. And the professor's like, well, this will make that look like a walk in the park. Will it? That sounds pretty awful.
Yeah. He's, going to another planet, I guess, right?
I guess so, yeah.
And then we get the classic line of, she says to him, right? Mm-hmm. It's bigger than all of us, which is straight from the trailer as well.
Right.
And she was the one who got him into this program though. So right?
Right. Exactly.
So,
and, she said, she's coming from the perspective of this sacrifice that my husband is going to make is a small price to pay for my son's future.
Yes. Sure.
Which fine.
Yeah.
And then I love this line. This is one I almost picked for the opening. One of the ones I almost picked for the opening from Professor Collingwood here. No one attempts the impossible without the belief in something greater than themselves, even if the something is a someone. It's like, oh, okay, this is exclusively now the movie is about Abigail.
Yes.
Oh, now I get it.
Yeah.
Sam Worthington is not an actor. I forgot. We have to orange is the new black. This whole thing.
Yes. Okay, so things are in motion now, kind of, sort of. I think I don't know. We're moseying. We're kind of dragging through scenes at this point.
Listener, you'll find out there's almost nothing is in motion this whole movie. So
no, it just kind of stands still, like time for a moment here. I don't know. No, time doesn't stand still. Anyways, so then we get we're in a conference room. This is pretty much the meat of the trailer here, right? And we get Wilkinson here giving his Professor Collingwood giving his big speech to various military folks, the NATO crew here, members, pretty much outlining the plot for us, being like, hey, planet's dying, people are gonna be starving in 10, 15 years, we're running out of resources, we need to get to the Titan. And that is our only
children will witness the end of days.
Yes.
Oh, okay, that's grim.
But it's that obviously the atmosphere, the world there it's harsh. So we need to do some genetic changes so humans can survive. Basically.
I love the way he sells this. He's like, well, it's beyond the reach of space science, but not beyond modern genetics.
Yeah. It's like,
what? But fine.
Sure. Whatever you say. Yeah, and then this is where we get Hernandez, the guy from the trailer, who's like, "Are you talking about forced genetic evolution?"
Yeah, he's like, "I don't understand how our bodies won't reject the treatment." And then this is what Sam Worthington pipes up, which I'm like, "Guy, stay in your lane."
Yeah. Go ahead.
Sam Worthington's just like, "Listen, guy, like." You might not survive, but like some of us have to. like you got kids.
Yeah, the old you got kids. Yeah, you all got kids. That's actually what he says to the guy.
Right.
He's like, "Hey, why are you here then?" Then he goes the old, "You got kids." It's like, Whoa. All right, dude. Just because people don't have kids doesn't mean, let's pump the brakes here, guy with kids who like all of a sudden.
Yeah. And I love the other guy in the audience that pipes up and goes, $20 says that guy dies first. Like, wait, are we betting on people dying? What is this program?
Oh my God. So then at that point, there was like, all right, so is Rick Jansen supposed to be like a good guy? Because he comes off as just like an asshole.
Yeah. Oh, he's definitely an asshole, but right? I think he's supposed to come off as a good guy. Yeah.
And he's like, shut the fuck up or get out. Okay, professor, continue with your speech. It's like, what? Because he's not a badass. He's just an asshole. So that was like a really weird kind of exchange of things that were happening. So
yeah. And then it's like when they're about to start the montage of shenanigans, right?
Yeah. Right. So yeah, we get a check-in montage. So it's basically the team of people, right? Everyone's getting registered, photographed, and set up, and
Yep. Getting their IDs, the little security badges. And you get a little more voiceover, right? From
Yep. Yeah, it's kind of like it's kind of intercut with Professor Collingwood talking about trying to raise the stakes and how important this is, and how you will become enhanced humans, Superman.
I'll make a man out of you, right?
Yep. He drops a great line of like, "You'll be you, but better."
Quite
better.
I don't see how that'll come back to bite him later.
Yeah, I don't either.
So like they're all wearing jumpsuits now, like getting culty, joking around, like, oh, what could possibly go wrong? We're doing a experimental genetic experiment thing for NASA/NATO.
Yeah, one guy's like, have you ever tried piloting a ship to Titan? Sam Worthington's like,
I was in the desert for 3 days.
And that's pretty much all he says. And then we are
shots. Everybody do shots.
Yeah, shots.
Yeah, dinner time.
Yeah, there's a couple quick cuts of like science stuff, some blue dye dropping in tubes, which means nothing. And then Lady Doc there gives us a ton of exposition, science exposition to Rick Jansen,
right.
And like what they're going to give him.
Yep.
Shots. And then we get another like a family montage of like the mom and son going to grocery. Basically, it's like, hey, life is fine here on the island. Mom's going grocery shopping and
little community. Yeah. Which I was like, wait, isn't she a pediatrician? Like, I guess like on the island, they have no use for pediatricians, even though everyone has kids. Like, oh no, now you're a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah. Right.
Go to the grocery store.
Pick up the kid from school.
She's like the most qualified person on this island. Infuriating.
Yep. Yeah, and then he's continuing getting shots. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. By the way, not vodka shots for the listener here. In case it wasn't clear, we're talking medical shots.
Medical shots. Yes. Mm-hmm. We're a lot of science is happening right now. And then there's like a vodka weird science moment where like he's getting a shot in his ass by the lady doc, and like,
oh yeah,
it's a weird exchange of faces. And then we get barbecue.
Have a little cookout. Yeah,
a little cookout because why not?
Everybody's eating, drinking, having a good time.
It's the whole team, right? The space crew, the team that's going to go to Team Titan.
Right, Team Titan. Yeah,
that's actually isn't that like a DC animated?
No, that's Teen Titan.
Oh, Teen Titan. Right.
Yeah. Or there's like a young Titan. I don't know. There's like too many Titans things. It's like Robin based, so nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, right. Okay, so this is Team Titan, trademark by us right now. They're drinking, they're hanging out, they're eating, having some barbecue.
Shots, but not the medical kind.
Not the medical kind. Now we're doing some, I think tequila, maybe, probably.
I think it's tequila. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it looks like tequila.
Spanish tequila.
Yep. This is the last time someone's will be able to drink for a while, or I guess last time we'll get to drink for a while. One of the guys, someone says.
Yeah, apparently they can't drink while they're doing medical experiments, which lame.
Yeah, what kind of medical experiment is this?
Yeah, I don't want to say that we're giving medical advice to anyone here, but if your medication says don't drink and take this, well, you do your own research.
Jesus Christ.
I said this is not medical advice, Russ.
It's true. You did preface it. Okay. And then we're all hanging up by the grill. You know, the guys are hanging up by the grill, you know, and there's some conversation with Hernandez real quick there. And I don't know, doesn't matter. And then Sam spots his wife, and then they dance for like a good, I don't know. Or I'm sorry, Rick Jansen spots his wife, and they go and they Abigail, sorry, and they just dance for
it's romantic if Sam Worthington had feelings,
but he doesn't.
No,
he's just dance.
Yeah, he's like the Zuckerberg of actors. Like, oh, there's nothing in there.
Yeah, there's nothing. It's just kind of vapid. It's empty. He's got space in his brains.
I too am human.
Sips water with two hands. So then, all right. So we're still at home here, and we jump to nighttime at the house, and Abigail is
lit,
wasted, like wicked wasted. Can't even get up the stairs. She's leaning against the wall. Like all of a sudden, I was like, "This did become like a horror movie." All of a sudden, she's like crashing into the wall. She's like rolling against it. And I was like, "What is happening?"
Did somebody roofie her at the party?
Like, she is tanked. It was the 2 shots of tequila. And then Rick Jansen comes in, and he's like, "Oh, hey, honey." He helps her up the stairs with no railings, by the way. It seemed very dangerous staircase.
Don't worry, babe.
Don't worry, babe. I got you. It's okay. He's like walking her up the stairs. He gets up the stairs, and he collapses. And this is he collapses, starts coughing violently, and then all of a sudden she's carrying him, and she is sober as a duck and giving him meds.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, let me get the first aid kit." And it's like, you know, that's what Taya said too. We were watching it. She was like, "Oh, all of a sudden she's sober enough to do this." And I was like, "Well, I mean, like an emergency situation, I guess will sober you up a little bit, but no, not enough to do any of this stuff."
Not when you couldn't even get up the stairs, and now all of a sudden you're just like, "Yeah, here's 15 milligrams of this, blah blah blah." I don't know. Yeah,
you don't go from blackout drunk to like administering competent first aid.
Yes. And then they just go to bed.
Yep. Yeah. They're like, "Well, let's ignore that problem and just go to sleep." This won't come back to bite either of us either.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah. But then there's like a weird quick cut, right? Of like, Abigail and Professor Collingwood are at the lab, and they're like looking at his blood, and there's like little ants in it or something.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Yeah, it's just a microscope shot of his blood. Yeah, and it's just like real quick, and it's like, this can't be good.
Yeah, like everything in this movie is designed to be like, oh well, I don't know. It's just everything's very heavy-handed.
It's like we already know that he's the evil. He's like being the evil scientist, evil doctor here. Like,
right.
He's got He's got a slight British accent. We know he's the evil guy.
Yeah. No, let's spend the first hour just setting that up.
Yeah.
So that way the last 30 minutes something might happen.
Black ants in his blood. That's interesting. Don't report this to anyone. He doesn't say that, but
it's implied.
And then we get a holding the breath in the pool competition. Yeah.
We're at the bottom of the pool with Rick there. He's competing against what's her character's name? Do we know?
W.O. Tally Rutherford.
Okay, Nathalie Emmanuel. The one time I won't say the character.
Well, W.O. I think is like her like rank title. So it's like Doctor, Lieutenant, Professor, Doctor, and then W. I don't know what W stands for. CI is.
I don't either. Tally. I guess we'll call her Tally.
Yeah.
So Rick and Tally are at the bottom of the pool. It seems like they're the only two left out of the crew. Presumably the rest of the crew is here at some point, maybe. All trying to like figure out how long they can hold their breath for, because apparently they're going to be swimming on Titan at some point.
Yeah, there's tons of water up there, as we know.
Yeah, which Tally is not doing well.
I mean,
she's doing 30 minutes plus.
Yeah,
pretty good.
That's great. And they're giving each other middle fingers and he's having fun with it.
Yeah.
And then she freaks and she breaks. She goes up top, and then
Rick's still going.
He's still chilling. He's still under there. And then he like takes off the monitoring system, and everyone's like, "Right, we gotta go get him. He's drowning." And then Professor Collingwood there is just like, "No, let him break.
Yeah, let it happen.
Let it happen." And then Rick starts swimming around like a dolphin,
like a goddamn fish. Yep, like
a goddamn fish,
just like flopping around, doing his laps. It's showing off.
Crushing it, showing off. Yeah, exactly.
And like ends up being 42 minutes and change underwater, which sure, fine. Great. Yeah. Proud of you, bud.
You did it. Awesome. Good for you.
Yeah. Get gills. Like, what are you doing?
Jerk. And then we're back at home.
Yep.
At
and
night,
he's still
nighttime
swimming around.
Because he loves swimming now. He's big into swimming here. Your old whoever that guy's name is who won an Olympic gold medals.
Yeah. And for the listeners, if you think that we're Michael Phelps.
Thanks. That's who it is.
Yeah.
Just Phelpsing around.
Just Phelpsing around. If you think we're like rushing along and like developing the plot without explaining to you what's happening, that's also what the movie's doing. Yeah. It's like, oh, well, now he's a swimming guy. Cool. Okay.
I think all our listeners are like, no, you guys have been talking about this movie for 30 minutes and we know you're only 5 minutes into it. So
right. Exactly.
So, but yes. Correct. Yep. But right.
Now he's telling his bedtime story, right, to his kid.
Yeah, tucks in the kid. They just do, I don't know, talking about nitrogen and.
Oh, it's so frustrating. Well, yeah, they do it again several times in this movie.
Yes,
like this is the only bedtime story the kid likes is like, you know, like what do you know about nitrogen? Like, did you know there was a storm on Saturn that went for like 40 years? And the kid's like, no. Papa?
Again, screenwriter has just Googled facts about space, and we're like, we need to throw this in here so we know. We feel like we know what we're talking about, right? Or like the characters know. It's like,
sure, yeah. Like, why does he sound like Batman? The whole movie, Sam Worthington's like, did you know there was a storm on Saturn that went for like 40 years?
Did you, kid?
Yeah. Good night. I fucking love you.
Good night, Earthling.
Yeah. Good night, Dad. I hate it. It's so dumb.
Oh, God. And then Rick Jansen does the dishes. He watches his wife swim because there's the pool and the kitchen thing, right? Because you can see it through the kitchen.
Right. Yeah.
It's like some fancy club or something, right? Like,
yeah. I don't want to see my shadows.
Yeah. I don't want to see a single shadow around here.
Yeah. More water.
So then he goes out and he goes for a swim, just, probably show off again. But then
Rick thinks his dad's up in heaven, like watching him be the first man on Titan and shit.
Oh yeah, that's right. There was it was a weird comment from his son. It was like this other layer of character development that just.
It's not character development. That's why.
Yeah, I guess like it was supposed to be or could have been. Like it was just nothing. It was just it was just like a throwaway line from his son, who's just like as he's walking away, he's like, "What did you say? Like, oh, maybe your dad thinks just grandpa see you or something or what? I don't know what. Right? I don't know.
Something like that. I don't know. It's stupid.
It's like a moment of like, oh yeah, okay, and then that's it. There's like there's nothing there. So
yeah, Rick looks real vascular in this scene.
Yeah. Now he's swimming with Abigail. They're swimming in a pool, right?
Yep.
And she notices, right? She notices like kind of weirdness going on in his back, whatever. And she's like, ooh,
so many veins.
Gross. And then she's like, fuck it. And they keep making out.
Yeah.
And the end.
Then the next morning, the bed is empty. Apparently Rick's at the lab. He's got like tubes sticking out of his face.
Gotta get up early. Gotta get it done.
Yeah, you got to get early for those tubes.
And that's that scene. And then we move on back home.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Abigail and some Southern lady, getting ready for the day.
This is the moment where there's the introduction of like this religious kind of faith thing in the movie.
Yeah. They do
it comes back with like Professor Collingwood's character, right? He says multiple times towards the end, he's like, I have faith, I have hope, we're gonna pray for you. And it's like, wait,
yeah.
What? When? There's nothing wrong with that, but I'm just saying, it's like, what a weird additional thing to throw in here. Like,
yeah, it is a weird additional thing to throw in here.
It's like you're not. Yeah, I don't know. It's like they.
Because she leads it off where she's like, "Do you pray?"
Yeah,
and she's like,
"Of course," coming from the Southern lady, by the way.
Right?
Yeah. Do y'all pray up here?
y'all pray out here in España.
And this Gran Canaria Island.
Yeah, I had a case of Gran Canaria once. And
I've been to the Gran Canaria. It's just a big hole in Arizona.
Oh no! Listeners in the South, I'm semi sorry.
This is just how they're making the character. That's all we're
Yeah,
just
it's not
saying.
us.
It's not us. It's the movie.
Netflix. Blame Netflix.
Yes.
Netflix is responsible for this.
Yes. Stereotypical Southern woman who believes in the Lord and is praying. Like,
right.
Okay.
And is also like apparently being abused by her husband. She's like, yeah, well, he just decides everything and whatever we're gonna do. Cause like, well, you know, if I said I didn't want him to do the experiment, he'd get mad and call me a chicken. Like, wait, he'd call you a chicken? Like, what is this? Is he 6? Like, I don't understand.
Like, yeah, if you couldn't, it feels like such a stereotype of a character.
Yeah, he'd get mad.
It's fucking hilarious.
Bless his heart.
It's actually funny at how bad that is, how bad this is. And then Abigail is kind of like, well, it's just about husbands being husbands and doing off and doing stuff and being heroes.
Yep.
It's like, what?
Yep. She's like, don't worry, my pediatric work is not going to get in the way of my husband being a hero. There's one thing I can assure you.
Or will it? Okay, and then we're back at the lab, right?
Well, Dad comes out of the lab.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, well, it's a quick scene, quick cut of we jump to lab, and he's in a wheelchair, right? And Abigail and Lucas, son, are picking him up, and he's a little banged up. He's got black eyes, whatever, probably because of all the tests and stuff he's going through, right? Looking a little rough.
Yep.
Dad comes home, playing video games with the son. They're hanging out, and then Abigail's kind of like hanging out, worried, I guess.
Yeah, and starts reading a conveniently like plot book of like, here's what's going to happen to your husband. Like, starts like reading about I'm like, wait, wouldn't you have read this beforehand? Like, whatever. Where did she get this book from?
Weren't you the one who got him into this program? Like, did you not do your homework? Like, what is?
Maybe she is a bad doctor. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they stripped her of her medical license before she got to the island. That's why she's not practicing.
Oh, and she had to she'd get out of the country. Okay, yeah. Okay, It's all coming together. She's actually the villain.
Yep.
And then we are back at home.
Yep.
There's a lot of always going back home. It's kind of like a mix between. It's nighttime again.
Thankfully, there's like 3 sets in this movie. So
yeah. It's lab and home and lab room 2.
The military base part of the lab.
Yeah. It's all just me referred to as a lab, probably.
Yeah.
So there's a quick shot of Sam playing with the son and wife kind of with a concerned look, and then we cut to nighttime.
Yeah.
So Abigail wakes up in the middle of the night and notices that Rick is missing from the bed. She gets up and she notices that the thermostat in the house is like cranked really low, right? It's like super cold.
Yep.
And get into the kitchen and he's like icing himself up and he's like, temperature's cranking. He's like, I'm super warm.
I'm really hot. And she's like, well, the rest of us are fucking freezing now, you asshole.
Yeah. Just go in the goddamn pool.
Yeah, like go outside. Like,
go in the pool, you weird dolphin.
Yeah, but no, instead she makes him an ice bath.
Yep.
And then he's like, hey, I got to show you something. So he dips his hands in the ice bath and she's like, okay. And he's like, no, now you do it. She's like, I don't think I want to. Like, I'm already freezing. He's like, no, do it.
Yeah,
and she's
do
like,
it.
Okay. So she puts her hands in. She's like, oh, it's all cold. And he's like, see?
And he doesn't even say that. He doesn't even say that though. He just sits there with his hands in the bucket. And he's like, and he pulls his hands down. He's like,
Well, then he goes, I don't feel cold at all. Like, weird flex, bro. Like,
cool.
Yeah. Okay.
I married you for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So frustrating.
Yeah. So
that's like that. End scene.
Yeah.
And end scene.
Okay. And then we get then we just get island shot. I think our first daytime island shot, right? And they're out for a run and he's like, I want to show you something. He's always wanting to show her something. And they just go out to a view of mountains and there's a line of like, too bad we can't, save this.
Yeah. Like, she's like, yeah.
Is it actually the people or it's not the planet that's actually getting destroyed? It's actually the people who are going to die, right?
A little column A, a little column B, I think.
Like the mountains are going to be there. The humans won't, but the mountains will remain. So will remain.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I hate this scene too. And like you said, he just literally, it's the same line he says twice in a row. Let me show you something. You just did this not even 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. Great. You can run and see mountain. Whatever.
It's bad script writing.
It's not good. Not good. And then we're back at the old lab, right? We think we get another kind of, is this where we get like the getting stronger montage?
A little bit. Yeah. They're like, well, they're doing a lot of swimming, but apparently this time they're doing swimming in 20% liquid methane for some reason.
Because they're changing the environments based on their progress through the science they're putting them through to like, hey, can you survive these things? Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Right, exactly. And then but at the same, then I'm confused because are they swimming in it or are they breathing it? Because then they're like, they have these masks on while they're doing the get strong montage. They're like wearing masks the whole time where they're breathing. But I think
that, so I don't know. I think so because it separates because I think when they're doing the pool thing, there's people who aren't part of the Titan program, but are like watching them and they're like basically in beekeeper outfits. We saw this actually shot from the trailer, right?
Yeah. In the swimming.
So I think when they're in there, it's the air that is like, because I don't know.
Okay. They've obviously that's why they're wearing the masks afterwards.
They've modified the environment there. So like, if you don't have like a suit to protect you from it, don't go in there. Because like there's it's like a stupid throwaway line just before this happens where Professor Collingwood's like, hey, just a heads up, 20% methane now in the air or whatever. He says something. It's like, right.
So stupid.
So stupid. But so this is basically the getting stronger, getting, bigger, getting faster montage of all the team members going through the training. They're running, they're swimming, some are becoming stronger, some are failing.
Rick is the only one who's good at it, apparently.
Yeah. Well, he survived in a desert for 3 days.
Right. I heard.
I'm not sure if you saw the news clipping, but
no, I did at the beginning. I'm glad they showed me.
And then we get to then it kind of wraps up with him again back in the pool because he loves pool time. And it's him and Tally in the pool, and they're kind of she's losing it a bit, right? And it's kind of like supposed to be a moment I think of them like connecting. Yeah. But it falls flat as all hell. It's supposed to come back later, but doesn't really do a lot.
She says, the cold hurts. And Rick says, get out of the pool. And she says, no. And then he says, mind over matter. And then they swim to the bottom. And that's the end of the scene. That is so frustrating.
And they sit at the bottom there. And
imagine how much chemistry is developed with that dialogue.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. There's more actual chemistry, I think, in the air with the 20%. Was it liquid methane?
Yes. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
There's more chemistry, artificial chemistry going on than there is between these two characters. So
they're surrounded by chemistry, but
yeah. And then we come to kind of like now it starts. I was gonna say ramping up. That's not even true. It doesn't ramp up at all. This movie doesn't change. This movie doesn't change in pulse at all. It's kind of like boop, boop, boop.
Yep. Okay, guys. Next scene.
Next scene. And now we're in the shower scene, also in the trailer.
Yeah.
When it was saying a shower scene, by the way, makes it sound way more interesting than it actually. It's just they're all in.
Yeah. Well, it is kind of weird because like they're all in the same shower together.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like I would have assumed that they would have like a separate locker rooms or something. I don't know. I guess in 2048, I guess we're more progressive.
Hey, whatever.
It's Spain.
Yeah.
I guess they do that over there.
Grand Canary Island, you never know.
Yeah.
And they're so they're kind of hanging out, kind of whatever, doing chatting away, and then Rick Jansen starts losing his hair, starts pulling chunks of hair out, right?
Just like yanking it out of his own head.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys losing any hair? Everyone's like, what?
Nah, man. Nah.
Yeah. Except for Tally. Tally's like, oh yeah, I lost a little bit of hair the other day.
Yeah. So the one sign that the two of them are the only ones that are going through this program, like, at the same pace where everyone else is like gonna end up probably dead.
Hopefully.
And then we get, as we're all hanging out, having fun, talking about how we're losing our hair, we get I wouldn't even say a blood curdling scream. We just get a scream from the shower stall right next door to him.
Right. Yeah.
And everyone runs in there. Yeah.
and she's like laying on the ground, covered in blood, convulsing and screaming.
Blood
and
coming from her mouth. It's all over the place. Yeah, she's
it's
freaking
horrible.
out. Yep, she shows her power. She knocks one person away, and then she dies.
Yep, it's funnier than it sounds. Listeners.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a pretty goofy scene. Everyone's kind of standing there like, oh man.
The scientists rush in and they're like, "Wow, what do we do?"
And stab her with stuff.
Help her. Yeah.
I'm trying to get a bunch of CCs of something to, stab her with. No, not happening.
Sure. Do anything.
So we got one down soldier, and I think that's a great time for us to part here and break up and to stop.
Yeah, we're getting to the good part, right?
Yeah. So if you're wondering what's going to happen next, listen to us. Well, first of all, thanks for listening. But if you want to know what happens next, if more of these Team Titans die or not, do we make it to Titan? I don't know.
Unlikely.
Does Sam Worthington start acting?
Nope.
You're giving all the spoilers.
Sorry, I'm giving it all away. Yeah. I'm just saying it's not. Don't. Yeah.
Does this movie
don't look for the movie to be good.
Does this movie get better? Nope.
Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
Tune in, right?
Yeah. Either way, thanks for listening. We'll be back on Thursday with part 2 of our breakdown of The Titan. But in the meantime, follow us on Instagram at It's This Meets That. We're ITMTpod on Twitter. And you should also subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
But if you're feeling old fashioned, you can just send us an email because we all know how old emails are. It's thismeetsthat@gmail.com. And you can find all of our old episodes at itsthismeetsthat.com. And while you're off subscribing to our podcast, couldn't hurt if you write a little review.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 stars. Who knows? It's just throwing it out there.
It's up to you.
But if I had my druthers, 5 stars, please.
Yeah. It's up to you to do those things. But when you do them, do what we say?
Yes. Right.
Yes. Right. Okay.